afternoon. My name is MacCarthy and I'm the Director of Recruitment Admissions here at Richmond, the American University in London. And I'm joined by my colleague, Dr. Sabine Spangenberg. She's the Associate Dean of Richmond Business School.
Hello.
Today we're going to cover the agenda that you see on the screen in front of you. Why do an MBA? Why study at Richmond? Or MBA and its specializations, which Dr. Spangenberg will take you through, and some logistics in terms of applying. We'll finish up with a question and answer session, and if you have any questions, you will be able to type them into the dialog box that you'll have on your screen there, and we'll conclude by answering all those questions and sharing them with other participants. So why do an MBA? Well, in reality, the MBA has always been a precursor to establishing a career in a business environment. But more importantly, it's about becoming a global leader in a world that is becoming increasingly global. And in order to succeed in today's business environment. Okay. Why London? London is a great city. I moved here from Southern Ireland a number of years ago, and I'm still here, and I love everything about London. It's a great student to be a city, and I was a student here. I came here to be a student. It's a wonderful social and cultural and political capital. There is always a lot going on. It's truly a global city, a cosmopolitan city. Every neighborhood has something to offer from pretty much every part of the world. There are many things to do, including lots of museums, galleries, theatres and cinemas and so on and so forth. And obviously lots of ways you can enjoy yourself at bars, restaurants, sporting venues, etc. And why choose Richmond? Well, primarily Richmond is very unusual in the UK higher education sector. We have dual accreditation. That means that our degrees are validated in the United States, but also here in the United Kingdom as well. Our class sizes are untypically smaller than most UK institutions. It's not uncommon to have a class of about between 12 and 15. This means that you, as a student, you will get quite a lot of attention and quite a lot of individual attention from our academic staff, all of whom are experts in their field and many of whom will be practicing professionals as well as academics. You'll also have seen from our website that we offer a range of scholarships which we hope that you would explore. About the MBA, we have two options. We have a 1-year, 12-month option, which goes from September to September or from January to January. Alternatively, we have a 16-month option. And if you're a resident of the European Union or the UK, you also have an option to study part-time. Our start dates are September and January, and our business school is located in Kensington, just around the corner from High Street, Kensington.
Shall I?
Yes, I'm going to hand over to Dr. Spangenberg, and she will take you through the MBA and its specializations and other information.
So hello, my name is Sabine Spangenberg. I'm the Associate Dean of the Business School. So I oversee the content of our programs on the undergraduate and the postgraduate level. So a little bit of information on our Master of Business Administration. We currently offer 3 options. We have a generic MBA, which we here call the General MBA, which gives you an insight in all the various operational and functional areas that are required to be a successful business person, really. For this General MBA, you do not require any post-graduation work experience, but we do have quite a few students on the program who come with work experience. We have also recently added 2 specialized MBA programs, one MBA in marketing and an MBA in human resource management. I will tell you a little bit more about the specifics of those programs now. So whether you enroll on the general MBA, on the marketing MBA, or the HRM MBA, you will have to take 3 compulsory courses in your first semester. And here we are assuming that you are studying full-time entering in September. Obviously, like Mel has said, there are options to enter in January and to take the courses in a different sequence. And there's, of course, also the option to do a 15-16 month program and spread the program over 2 years if you wish to do it part-time. So assuming you enter in September, there are 3 courses, we call them courses in the UK, they're called modules, that you have to take in that semester. So there's economic analysis for managers, that's the economics course for your degree. Then there's managing organizations and people and financial management. So these are courses which are certainly economics and finance. They're a little bit more abstract and also data-based, quantitative in terms of the skills that you will learn. And of course, there's managing organizations and people, which gives you an insight into various leadership theories. There's a lot of role play that happens in that course. And you'll find out a bit about your own personality as well. So that's the case for all those different types of MBAs. And then in the following semester, depending on what you have enrolled in, or perhaps you hadn't made your choice and you are making your choice after the first semester, because that's also possible. So in the spring semester, you will have a number of, again, compulsory courses such as marketing strategy, strategic management, and a business research skills course. And on top of that, you will choose a course from your chosen strand. So if you are within the generic MBA strand, you can choose a pink course, marketing and ethics, marketing in a digital world, one of the green or lime-colored courses, which are in the human research management area. If you're in the generic part, you can choose one of those 7 courses. So there's project management, there's also finance as an option, or innovation management and entrepreneurship. After having completed those 2 semesters, you move on to either an internship in the summer plus an individual professional project. If you opt not to take an internship, you will write an extended professional project. So this might be interesting for those students who've got post-work experience. They know that they perhaps wish to work in HRM, have got some experience there already, are taking those green courses that are listed there, and write a professional project in the human research management area. However, if you come in as a freshman to the MBA without work experience, then perhaps you are interested in undertaking an internship. And these internships are facilitated through our internship office. You will receive credits for the internship. So it's a work placement that is assessed. You will achieve a grade for it. So what do you learn? 93% of employers say that an employee's ability to think critically, communicate clearly, and solve problems is more important than the undergraduate major. So within the MBA program, we focus on those attributes quite strongly. We embed those learning outcomes within individual modules and within our curriculum map, so to speak. So you will exit the program as a critical thinker. You will have options to engage in group work with other people, present to your peers, also, of course, present to your instructors, and you will learn problem-solving skills through the various courses that you're taking. So, of course, there are different problems which require different skills. So skills are taught in those different courses, such as economics, such as in finance, where you are then confronted with various problems and you have to make a decision on the basis of the set scenario. There are a number of leadership cases that are discussed within the modules, within the classes. Here are some examples of the cases that are covered in particular in the managing organizations and peoples and the mentoring and coaching classes. So you are, of course, familiar with the diesel scandal. So a lot of inside information, but a lot of insight will be gained here through looking closely at that particular case study. And then you see another few examples, such as Andrea Orsel's role at Santander. There will be a focus on Facebook, and of course, at the moment, you all know about the new currency, Libra, so there will be a lot of focus on that going forward, I'm sure. And then we've got Carlos Ghosn blames backstabbing conspiracy. So a lot of current cases. So these are some examples of what was discussed in the past, and of course going forward there will be further and new cases which we will be focusing on. Now, who will you be meeting as an MBA student? You've got a few pictures there of some of our faculty. The current MBA director, Carola Hika, is a specialist in organizational behavior and leadership. She's a psychology PhD, publishes in that area, in particular in mentoring and coaching. She's also a professional. She does a lot of consultancy work. She coaches people who are in dominant leadership roles. So you will benefit from her expertise, and she will certainly tell you what type of a leader you are when you're in one of her classes. Then the next one, that's me, Sabine Spangenberg. I'm an economist. I am an academic, so I publish in areas of public economics in particular, and I will be delivering the course Economics for Economic Analysis for Managers. So in that course, you will have to compose a written project on micro and macro areas surrounding a business. Then we've got Hamad Khan. Hamad is a very keen researcher in higher education policy. He engages in entrepreneurship, and he's recently set up a matrix. Well, it's called Matrix. It's an entrepreneurship incubator here at Richmond. So if you have any new ideas you want to explore, you've got a platform for this. So this is very, very exciting, and it was launched only a few months ago with a lot of support from the business environment, the local business community, and of course the university itself. Next, we've got Salvatore Dorsa. Salvatore is a professional. He's got all the academic qualifications. He's got experience from Harvard Business School. He's been teaching widely, and he's an active financial officer, CFO, in the city in London. He teaches finance, so you get all the hands-on information from him, and the skills that are required you will learn from Salvatore. Now, these were, of course, just a few people teaching on the program. If you look at the university website and you go onto the Richmond business site, the school website, you see who else will be teaching on that program. But apart from the people who teach on the program, we also invite guest speakers to talk to you. So you will get a little bit more insight from those who are actively involved in leadership roles and consultancy roles, etc. So not only do we invite people to come and talk to you in the classroom, we also go out into companies. So for example, Corolla takes Richmond students to Linklaters, a global law firm, which I'm sure you've heard about. And we've got some very interesting testimonials as to how much students learned as a result of that experience. Yeah.
Okay. So our typical class profile, I mean, as I said, London is a very cosmopolitan city, and so too is Richmond, a very cosmopolitan place. So a class of the MBA program, or indeed other programs as well, will consist of nationalities from pretty much all around the world. The UK, US, France, Germany, India, Pakistan, UAE being sort of very well represented. The average age of our student is typically between 21 and 29. Some of those will have work experiences, Sabine has indicated, and some won't. It's not mandatory to have work experience. But we do feel that actually those individuals that do have work experience are often of great value to the group, because they tend to share their knowledge and experience with students with less or no experience. Students come from a variety of backgrounds. If they do have work experience, it can be finance, education, and the real estate business, which clearly is a very big sector here in London. But as indicated, there will be a number of students who will have just completed their first degree at university. They may have taken 6 months out and had some sort of work experience, but will be less experience than those other individuals. Internships. We offer internships, or to assist you with obtaining an internship. We feel that it's a great benefit to add a work placement to your postgraduate program, because it lets you essentially put theory into practice. It gives you an opportunity to be exposed to a business environment here in London. And these listed here are some of our recent placements, have been with the companies listed on the screen in front of you. Or interns, when they return from their interns, or when they complete their project, they always tell us that it has been beneficial for them. They've been involved in meaningful work, and they've been exposed to business practice and an active business environment. And again, if you don't have work experience, maybe that is definitely would be of specific value to you. After you graduate, if you care to look at our LinkedIn profile, and you'll see that we have many illustrious alumni. We are a small institution, but we have a very large alumni base. Many of those have gone on to do great and good things. And in particular, some the companies indicated on the screen there: Johnson & Johnson, Lufthansa, Shell, HSBC, Harrods, etc., in a variety of roles too. And we're very pleased with that. The great thing about our alumni is that they continue to be engaged with us in all sorts of ways. They often carry out some mentoring activities with our students. They may often be guest speakers from time to time, and they keep contact with Richmond throughout the many years that we have been in existence. The application process, we have two ways through which you can apply. One is directly to the university using the university's direct application form, or you may also apply through UCAS Postgraduate. The tuition fees for our programs are, if you are a citizen of the UK or the European Union, it is £12,000, and if you are a citizen from outside of the European Union, it's £15,000. I indicated that we also offer scholarships of various descriptions, partial and some full. So essentially, in order to apply, you need to complete a postgraduate application form, provide a personal statement of about 500 words. That's usually around a page and a half of A4, outlining your motivations to study an MBA, what you hope to achieve through studying with us, and what your career aspirations are. Additionally, you can also supply a curriculum vitae and a reference if you have one of those. They're not mandatory, but it's good for us to be able to review your application, and the more information you supply, the better it is for us. You'll also need to supply proof that you have an undergraduate degree. This will be your degree certificate and possibly transcripts as well. And if you're a non-native English speaker, you'll need to supply an English language test result, which can be TOEFL, IELTS, or Pearson's test of academic English. Scholarship and finance options. As indicated, we have full and partial scholarship opportunities for international UK and EU students. We also have our founder, Sir Cyril Taylor, has a foundation, and through that foundation, we offer scholarships which in some cases may cover accommodation costs and tuition fees as well. I believe we will have received applications from that. Again, if you're a UK or EU citizen, you may well be eligible for Student Finance England loans. It's a postgraduate loan, which in most cases covers the majority of the tuition fee. We'll be happy to help you navigate Student Finance England, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to get in contact with us. We also have host postgraduate open evenings from time to time, and the next one will be on Wednesday, the 6th of November. We hold these in the evenings so as to allow those who are working during the day, who have other commitments, to come and visit us in the evening. Throughout the year, we run one-to-one sessions, and you can book one of those with us at any time by going to our website and just completing the dialogue box to make an appointment to visit the campus. And through the one-to-ones, you'll meet a member of academic staff and possibly somebody from our admissions department who can discuss your application and your career aspirations with you directly. Next steps, and if you have any questions, you can type those in, and I will read them out as they come in and answer them. Dr. Sabine Spangenberg and I will answer them, or attempt to do so. If you have any particular questions, you can also contact us by email at rbs@richmond.ac.uk or telephone us. We're here from 9 o'clock in the morning till 5 GMT. Thank you for listening today. Do follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram if you wish. These are fairly active accounts. And I can see that there is some questions coming in. So the question here is there a recommended reading list for this program?
Yes, there is a recommended reading. We don't have a list as such for the entire program, but we have reading lists for each course on the program. So if you wish to have an indication of what reading we expect you to do, you can just get in touch with me in terms of sending me an email. I'm sure that we can provide my details later on, or somehow here. So for each course, there is set reading, which is usually divided into each week. Now, so you might find that there is a textbook that gives you, for example, in economics, I recommend to my students a particular textbook, but then for the consecutive weeks, we have journal articles to read. We might pick something up that's currently in the news. So peer-reviewed journal articles and textbooks are used on all the courses. And if you have any required any further questions, I'm very happy to give you the specifics.
Okay, we have another question here. I was unable to access the webinar earlier. Would it be possible to access a recording on these slides? Yes, it is. There will be a recording of this webinar, and the slides will be available on that online, and we will send them out to all of those who have attended. Got another question here. Are you offering any sales courses in MBA marketing?
Sales courses. On the MBA marketing course, obviously sales is a main constituent of marketing. That's what we're focusing on. So yes, it is of course implicit in all of our marketing courses. The concentration, the specialism in marketing focuses on ethical sales. It focuses on sector-specific marketing analysis. So my answer to you is that yes, sales is part, of course, of the MBA in marketing, but we don't have a course that has sales in the title. So it is inside the course offerings.
Okay. Are there any other questions there that about to come in? Okay, there's another question. What is the mode of assessment for the MBA program?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So we tend to have for each module, so typically you take 3 courses in the semester, 3 modules in the semester. Typically for each one of these courses, you have 2 to 3 assessment points throughout the semester. Some courses are assessed through final exams, but most courses aren't. So you will have to write a assignment, you have to write a financial analysis, an economic analysis, depending, of course, which course you are enrolled in. So I would say the mode of assessment is very much written assessment. There is a component of group work. You need to learn teamwork on this program. So this is a program learning outcome. So you have to engage with others. And that can be in terms of composing a written assignment or indeed simply presenting joint findings to an audience. So it's a combination of some final exams, some written assessments in terms of assignments, some tests, in-class tests in finance in particular. There are more in-class tests than perhaps in, of course, and managing organizations and people. So it's a combination of different assessments.
Okay, we have another question here. If I'm an international student, can I take a part-time MBA? No, if you are an international student and you require a visa to study in the UK, it is not possible to study part-time. You would have to study full-time. Another question coming through here, is there a mandatory orientation of the program? Yes, is the answer to that. There is an orientation week and it is mandatory to attend it. Another question has just come in. How well connected are the department to industry and networks? I currently work at okay, so yeah, the first part of that question. How well connected is the department to industry and networks?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, I would say, as I pointed out earlier, the faculty is a group of people who are academics and also professionals. So we do have quite a large number of faculty on the MBA program who are currently engaged in their field of work. So I would say we are well connected to the industry, and there are certainly networking opportunities that are part of this program.
Another question has just come in. What is the rate of bigs selected on a sales or marketing job position after graduating from Richmond? Well, we will see from our LinkedIn site that we have virtually all of our graduates go on to do great and good things, and our post-graduation employment rate is relatively high in the sector. It is certainly sort of in the higher 80% percentile of those who graduate from us. Our feedback from students after they leave us on a continual basis is that they actually are employed in the positions that they put themselves forward for, not just necessarily in the field of marketing, but in a whole range of business and public services, NGOs, and other types of organizations. Another question has just come in. Can you highlight what content is put into personal and professional development? In terms of content and personal development, I would say that Dr. Hiker teaches a course about people and organizations within which there is a good focus on the development of you as a manager, which clearly focuses on personal and professional development. In terms of what goes into the content of a personal statement, you're going to, clearly in a personal statement, your motivation to study has to be kind of outlined for clearly why do you want to do an MBA in particular. What do you expect from an MBA, and what aspirations you have in terms of what you hope to get out of it from a knowledge point of view, but also from a career point of view as well. I'm just looking at this second part of that question here. Okay, right. Okay. There may well be clearly the language in the catalogue on the website may appear to be sort of contravene or sort of each other in a way, but ultimately speaking, a personal statement is required, and it outlines all of those items that I indicated there. It is necessary to provide one clearly because we have small groups where we like to get the best fit of students together, and we also want students who actually have the correct motivation to be on the program.
There's another question. What's the ranking position of Richmond all across London? Now, Richmond University is a dual accredited university, as was explained earlier on. So we received full degree awarding powers only a year ago. So we are still quite young in terms of entering any rankings in the UK. So we can't answer that question because we are not ranked as such within the UK. But I would say it really depends what you want out of a program. So we are a small program. Students get a lot of individual attention here at Richmond. The MBA director is very closely engaged with the MBA students. You will get to know your faculty really well, and you can dip into the experience and the expertise of the faculty here and there. So I think that's an enormous advantage, and that's certainly something that I would say ranks us above larger institutions which would be currently ranked. We are not as such. So, but we're very confident that once we're in there, we'll be doing really well.
There's another question here. What is the fall semester academic calendar like? So I guess the question there is that actually, if you started your program in the fall, what would it look like? Okay, well, if you look at the context of doing the program over a year, what you have is you have 3 semester indications. The fall semester is the period during which you cover mandatory core courses. And then the spring semester again is a teaching semester in which you cover another 3 courses within which there will be options. And the third semester is either the period during which you write up your dissertation or undertake your project or undertake an internship and the project. Again, this will be available in the slides when we release them after the webinar. On the 16-month option, the difference is that it's the fall is standard. You start off with your core units. You progress to the spring, taking 1 core and some options. You then have a summer vacation period starting in May and finishing in just the end of August. And that last semester from September to December is the period during which you would write up your dissertation or undertake an internship and a project.
So there are 3 courses currently scheduled for the fall semester. The semester runs over 15 weeks. We start early September and we finish around about the middle of December. Currently, courses are timetabled for Mondays. So economics and finance is taught on a Monday. And then managing organizations and people is delivered, I believe, on a Wednesday currently, but don't hold me to it. I might have got that day wrong. So you've got 1.5 days at the moment in terms of formal tuition. So this should also give you an opportunity to perhaps seek some paid employment if that's of use for you, or alternatively make use of library and research. So 1.5 days.
And do bear in mind as well, of course, that I mean you should actually sort of double at least the amount of hours that you are working on the assessments for you and assignments for your program. So if you're attending 9 or 12 hours, you have to add just twice as much again over a semester period to make sure that you're keeping up with assignments that are due in, whether you have a group presentation which will involve interacting with other students in order to, and meeting each other to prepare for a presentation. So additionally, whilst you can actually explore part-time work opportunities if you were a full-time student, they would be limited to some hours rather than many hours of that week. Okay, thank you for attending this webinar and for all these questions. There's a great number of questions. We've got one more question here. Just one final question then, and that what is the grading criteria? Is it a relative GPA or okay? So we do use the GPA system as so essentially as an American institution or an institution that uses the American academic architecture. We do use a GPA and CGPA sort of terminology in our assessment. So you would have letter grades clearly when you obtain you complete work, along with a percentile, as you would in a UK institution or a regular UK institution. But we also use that GPA and then the cumulative GPA as an indication of your achievement. Okay. Another question here about the Cecil Taylor Scholarship. Clearly, we would be looking at higher achievement for those scholarships for certain. So typically, you would have studied at a university overseas, you would have achieved a relatively strong GPA if we're going to use that terminology. So clearly that would be a 2-1 at the very least, and perhaps a GPA of 3.3 to 3.5 would be the ballpark. And many students who apply for those scholarships are actually coming in at the 3.5 and 4 mark. If you have a degree, if you have a degree from the UK, or indeed if you have studied at Richmond and you took your entire degree here, no, you would not need to have an IELTS. So if you have studied in the UK and you've obtained a bachelor's degree from the UK or a majority English-speaking country, which is effectively the United States as well, you're not required to have IELTS. Okay. Right. Thank you for those questions. Thank you for those questions. Are there any more questions? So we're going to conclude. Thank you for joining us today. We've just been about 1:45, sort of about 45 minutes actually with you here. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to get in touch with us. We have supplied our email address and contact details there, and you can also reach us at admissions@richmond.ac.uk or rbs@richmond.ac.uk. Again, thank you and good afternoon.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.